You are not the mind of thought. You are the deeper intelligence. Silent. You are the knowing.
We are awareness. We are beingness. And we're looking through this body, mind, whatever you want to call it, ego, mind, body, mind. We're looking through. So as we look through, mind generates the human experience.
See that you are not your conditioning. You are not what you've been thinking you are. That you are timeless, indestructible, undying, eternal, pure, and free.
Reality is happening from the inside out.
We're not mind. We're the thing. We're the light shining through mind, being broken up by the prism, by the mind, which is splaying out these colors or this human experience. So we're looking through the prism. And if you can see this, if you can get this, it's a fucking huge game changer. The awakening or the perspective, as that expands and you start to realize, it's the fucking prism. It's the mind, it's the projector. You then have the opportunity of oneness. You can see the story. There's less and less intensity or attachment.
It's the observer.
The first thing we got to do is deal with what's in us.
You are the light of the world.
I like to say that everything in the world gives us energy. It doesn't matter whether it's good or it's bad, it's energy, right? Now what you do with it, that's where you have control. That's where you have accountability. And what are you going to do with this energy? So
free us from the people that are puppeteering this bullshit. Free us from the governments that are creating this bullshit.
But there is a truth hidden in the story.
Our form really is the microcosm of the macrocosm. It is the cosmos in motion. It is a living cosmos. That's what our form represents.
And love, truth, and sovereignty becomes manifested when natural law is aligned with. But it's a constant. We have to adjust our conscious perspectives to align ourselves with that objective unfoldment of truth.
And be aware that the creative power works through you. We transform the mental to the material because we are co-creators with God.
The point is, it's a code, and so all you can do is refine it.
Write your own destiny in here. You write the script. Reality tunnels are built by you, lived by you, executed by you. You've got no one to blame. It's right here.
Wise sayings carry levels of meaning. It made me more aware of who I already am inside myself.
I'm leading myself to victory. You can also lead yourself to victory, just like Jesus led himself to victory. We can all lead ourselves to victory. We are our own salvations. We are our own salvations.
Know that the simple act of observation, just to be able to observe your thoughts, automatically means distance. You are not your thoughts, you are the observer.
In your power, in your center.
You are a walking and dazzling star. You are it, and it is you.
Through our ability to open a road to our own inner life.
Now, your whole being is about you bringing the two of these parts of yourself into a place of balance. In other words, the angel don't need to be winning this war against the devil, and the devil don't need to be winning this war against the angel. You need to end the war and bring peace.
You are the one responsible for everything.
Because this will show you how astrology is even possible. That as above, so below, what's going on in the heavens is actually going on within us. So this is a rebirth, a resurrection within a collection. And here go all of the symbols that show you we're becoming masters.
Our true contract. Like, you have one contract. It's know thyself. That's it. It's the great work. It's the realization that you are it and it is you. That's the only contract that it is. And you honor it by understanding how it operates within this reality, and you learn the code that it shows you, and that's what gives you the code to learn yourself.
The syncretist is this. It is the merging and interconnecting of all fields of human knowledge.
Here go an electromagnetic energy field. This is a torus field, but this is a different view and another way to look at it. I want to show you different versions. Look at this one. Can we see the sacred geometry? Battery, bottle. Now look at the body. Body, battery, bottle, it's a container for the genie. The genie is the jinn, the energy, the one that generates all of the power. So inside of the body is electricity, the veins, all of that, and it's all connected in the middle at the heart. You know why? Because if you look at this flat earth map again, let's go back to it. All of it connects in the middle at the heart. All of your veins and everything in your body, it connects right here. We're all in our own simulation. We're projecting a world around us. Ain't no way out of here other than removing the veil, because the veil is basically the veil of ignorance. What would my highest version do right now? To be this great version of yourself, you got to be it.
You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
No, the master is within you. The master is you, and it is your deepest self.
Deeper in substance and deeper in their inquiry into reality, into God.
It's that kind of people that thinking outside the box, which is I appreciate. And
your third eye gonna start putting together the nature of your reality, securing you back in your natural environment.
Entering into the void of nothingness and then coming out the other side, reborn. And in that place where you're reborn, you're going to know things that you did not know sitting right here. You're going to have a much bigger perspective. You have to die to be reborn.
Balance is something that needs to be obtained at all times. It's a constant.
To awaken, and then they come in as separate entities with the idea that through this relationship they will recognize more and more deeply the one that lies behind the two. And then, resting in that one, they will start to play as the two. Because in our souls, we're androgynous. In our souls, there is no need. We just are.
My reality is far beyond the mortals that surround me. Unfortunately, have not been dissected with the depth they deserve from our pulpits. Why? Because many times the speakers fear that if you delve into these sermons, people may take Ali above what he is. But Ali purposely intends in these sermons to try and show there is a dimension of my creation which is different from the apparent that you see.
To be able to ground into higher truths, we have this opportunity to see in life that opposition is our refinement.
Inner individuality.
Listen to what he says. He says that I am the first and I am the last. And I am the apparent and I am the hidden. I am the secret of the secrets. And I am the guardian of the believers. I am the hand of God. And I am the eyes of God. And I am the door to God. And I am the very door through which people worship God. When you hear these sermons, many times people turn around and say, hold on a minute.
Experience instructs the soul.
The real teacher is this. It's this presence, the spirit. This is the real teacher. And really any worthwhile teacher endeavors to point to this.
It's all about transmutation of energy.
Allow manipulation to find out where your enemy wants you to go, then use your mind to break the trap and punish the perpetrators.
Whenever you talking about the serpent rising, why do you think they said Christ was rising up on the cross? You are the cross, the Vitruvian man. That's you. Vitruvian man is the multi-dimensional self, meaning the many selves layered upon each other. That's what we're looking at right here, fellas. It's 7 different selves, and each one is lined up, and all of the shapes are in alignment. The key is to combine all of these energies back together by unraveling what's called the Kundalini. Once we unravel the Kundalini, this is an energy system of light, but it's trapped in its own prison. It's tangled up. When you unloosen this thing or untie the DNA, you unlock the God self. This is what the serpent staff was all about, guys. This is the great cross. It's the body. The body is the cross point in between the physical and spiritual. The human is an interdimensional being, meaning part of it is spirit, part of it is physical. And because of that, they symbolize the human as Two-Face, the Joker, the one that's the truth and the lie. This is the only place in the universe where the two can exist together. Everything you learn is what you take with you. What we learn, we create our world around us with it. Everything you see in your life that's happening, everything around you right now is a result of what you learned up until this point right here.
What's not a part of our projection and what's so weak within itself, it cannot survive without us giving it some power.
Oh, the difference between soul and spirit. Brother, spirit is your mind. Mind thinks. Your soul knows. Soul is energy. Spirit is the release of energy. Energy and force is not the same. Mind is force. Force is not source. Force is the exertation of source energy. It's emotion, energy in motion. It's the release of energy. It's radiation, emanation coming from the heart chakra, coming from the core outwards. In stillness, that is soul. It's just potential, pure potential. Soul is energy. Mind and spirit is energy in motion. So you need to have a soul connection to the soul in order for the energy to go in you, through you, and out of you. We are transceivers. If you let it in, you can exert it out. Spirit is spiral. It's your electromagnetic field. You have a spiraling energy, so it's moving. There's your spirit. That's your mind. It's active. Spirit, mind, spiraling energy. That's magnetism. It's radiation. Love from your heart. Taurus field. Poof. That's spirit. Strong strong aura. Now soul is connection. You have a strong spirit because of your strong connection to source. You're a sorcerer. So connection to source makes you strong soul, strong will. With that, you do the right things, you help others, and it gives you more power.
Has awakened to something deep within, an internal vision that involves the core imagination of that soul and the natural way of being in the world. This light hidden in darkness is our instinctual self, the genuine source of our capacity to change, to grow, and to transform in the heart of the heart.
Christ said, if your eye be single, your body will fill with light. Take no thought. Cast your energy to the right side. He said, the kingdom of God is within you. Seek that first. Christ said, you take away the key of knowledge because you don't enter within yourself. You've got to get within yourself. You've got to practice the single eye. You've got to take no thought. You've got to seek the kingdom within. You've got to cast your energy to the right side.
We can expand our awareness and narrow it. Experience it with our eyes open or closed. We can quiet our inside so we can perceive more on the outside, or quiet the outside so we can notice more of what's happening inside. The universe is only as large as our perception of it. When we cultivate our awareness, we are expanding the universe. This expands the scope, not just of the material at our disposal to create from, but of the life we get to live. The ability to look deeply is the root of creativity, to see past the ordinary and mundane and get to what might otherwise be invisible. The experience of our inner world is often completely overlooked. If we focus on what's going on inside ourselves, sensations, emotions, the patterns of our thoughts, a wealth of material can be found. Our inner world is every bit as interesting, beautiful, and surprising as nature itself. It is, after all, born of nature. When we go inside, we are processing what's going on outside. We're no longer separate. We're connected. We are one. When those around you don't see what you see and feel what you feel, this can lead to a sense of isolation and a general feeling of not belonging, of otherness.
It is by the grace of self-knowledge that you are set free. Salvation is not something you must do. It is something you must see.
Mind to come to heart.
This is how you come to the realization of truth, by the way of Christ vision. If thine eye be single, your whole body will be filled with light.
You'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
The most powerful energies are nothing without you. You are the link. We need to realize very clearly the position that we're in with our power.
Why are we doing what a government says?
That has been living side by side with humanity since damn near the beginning of time. Guess what though? That force ain't nothing outside of us. It's the adversary that's within all of us. You're a split personality, and each part of you is pulling you opposite ways. You got an instinctive character that want to pull you toward the worldly path. You have an intuitive character that want to pull you toward a spiritual path. These two going to war with each other. It's the war between good and evil, or God and devil. If you add an O on God, you get good. If you take the D off devil, you get evil. God and devil is good and evil. Good and evil are dual forces that exist within the self.
Connected to your true self, to the divine, to the one consciousness, then there's a constant there. It's a constant.
Your entire life is a form of self-expression. You exist as a creative being in a creative universe.
Peace, joy, happiness, that's your true nature. That's what brings the fulfillment, the nourishment and the nurturing. The attention has to be turned inward to that in order to be plugged into it. You have to look beyond experiences, beyond the senses, and beyond anything that's dualistic, beyond anything that has an opposite, beyond anything that can come or go, beyond anything that can change.
The practice of spirituality is a way of looking at a world where you're not alone. There are deeper meanings behind the surface. The energy around you can be harnessed to elevate your work. You're part of something much larger than can be explained, a world of immense possibilities. Harnessing this energy can be marvelously useful in your creative pursuits. There is no wrong way. There is only your way.
Well, enlightenment, it means light in the mind. The Renaissance means the rebirth of consciousness.
And what I'm saying is that, you know, this is like you could be tossed about in this reality where your emotions and your vibration and your frequency is all over the place. But really what you're trying to do is you're trying to get constant. You're trying to get a real foundation underneath you, and you're trying to ground into the experience. How are you even meditating? Because as I explained to people before, meditating means you're in a median. You're in the middle. So you're not actually thinking with the mind, and you're not actually asleep either. And this is how you get into the middle world. And that's where the elevator is. That's where the door is. It's like the eye of a needle. It's like the surfer trying to stay on the wave and not fall off, right?
The final and grand conspiracy to all of this is between you and yourself. Between you and what you're calling God. Between you and what you're calling Satan.
You've got to get up to a higher frequency. And the only way you get to that higher frequency is in meditation. You raise the frequency. You can see things that you never could see before, because now you're connected to the cosmic cable. And so this high, most high dwells in a place not made with human hands.
Climbing the mountain of time and consciousness, going to where other minds have not gone, and perceiving or precipitating, pulling from that the truth, the knowledge, the capabilities that gives us the power to know ourselves and to know the world and live the way we want to, but not because it feels good, because that's the way we need to be in control, to know ourselves, to develop and grow spiritually.
Because people, it's the time of revelation, and these folks getting exposed.
Whatever the case is, this is the design to one that is going to excel and one that is going to overcome.
You know, the best thing you could always do is stay true to yourself, be prepared.
You should really get into that and stay with that until you know what that means. That's a significant statement. The kingdom of God, you know, the universal celestial kingdom of the creator of the entire cosmos is inside of you. The kingdom of God is within you.
We are here, and we have to save ourselves. We have to be our own saviors and collectively save each other.
Everything outside of you is inside of you. There is nothing that's not inside of you. Everything outside in the world is a metaphor for you. Everything in the scripture is a metaphor for you. It's all happening inside of you. It's all in you.
According to the allegory of the Garden of Eden, they went ahead and they ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And of course, what happened? They fell into duality. They fell into the world of opposites, in a world of duality. Now, you may find it shocking to know, but that apple, or that forbidden fruit, is the mind. When the soul descended into the material world, the first covering that it picked up was the mind. And this is the first step in the fall of man. We hear a lot about transcending the mind. Most every spiritual enlightened path tell you have to transcend the mind to become enlightened, to undo that fallen consciousness.
An intention is more than a conscious purpose. It's the congruence of that purpose. It requires an alignment of all aspects of oneself.
The mind itself is the knowledge of good and evil.
Dreaming as part of the cosmic mind.
The line is a reflection of the energy transfer from the artist artist's being, including the entire history of their experiences, thoughts, and apprehensions, into the hand. The creative energy exists in the journey to the making. Our work embodies a higher purpose.
Our heavenly spiritual nature and our earthly human nature. And when these two forces find equilibrium, a third force is activated.
Meditation is not something that you enter into and then exit out of. Meditation is bridging you and grounding you with your truest self, with your truest presence.
We're a conduit for the universe. If we are a clear channel, material is allowed through us. Our intention reflects the intention of the cosmos.
The lamp of spiritual vision, that is the eye of the soul, illuminates.
We function more as an instrumentalist in a much larger symphony the universe is orchestrating. Darkness and light are only meaningful in relationship with each other. Without one, the other wouldn't exist.
It means developing your innermost essence and awakening spiritually, allegorizing an inner universal experience.
When listening, there is only now. It's a small reminder to wake up. The sound instantly pulls the participant into the present moment. It is a truth that lives inside you. Through your living it, that truth becomes embedded in the work.
You're a god that's trying to activate your godhood.
If the work doesn't represent who you are and what you're living, how can it hold an energetic charge?
Everything it ultimately is about awareness, isn't it?
The live and let live. As long as you're not hurting people.
If I were to answer anybody about the flat earth, the best thing I could tell you is that this earth, this universe, is probably some type of giant electromagnetic torus field. We live on the flat isoelectric inertial plane of a torus field. The torus field is the tree of life. Every ancient drawing of the earth, the egg, the cosmic egg, that's the torus field. We live on the flat isoelectric inertial plane of that.
The auric field is the solar system. You're at the North Pole. All of the stars in the sky are revolving around you. Everything is a projection, refracted reflection from source light.
Everything is electromagnetism. Those are probably the only two forces in this reality. The sun is positive. It's electric. The moon is negative and magnetic.
We're wearing the body-mind, and it's through the body-mind that we can experience sensations, and sound, and vision. But we're not the body-mind. We're the thing wearing the body-mind, and we're also not the sensations. And you're looking and listening to this, and you think that this is me. But it's only happening as a result of your aliveness. There is only you. It's you listening to you simply in another form. It's you experiencing you through another body-mind. It's you communicating with you. There's only you. There's nothing else. That's all that's happening.
A great hand reaches out from the unseen and regulates the affairs of man. It reaches out from that great spiritual flame which nourishes all created things. The never-dying fire that burns on the sacred altar of the cosmos. That great fire, which is the Spirit of God.
We're complete, but that completeness is unfolding itself.
Increase self-awareness in all areas as a multidimensional inward force.
You knew there would be contrast, and you said the ride is going to be worth it.
We want to be honest with ourselves, and we want to be able to face the darkness, but we want to be able to do it with a recognition of the light. We want to keep our awareness and our attention on the light itself. But we also want to take that vision with us into the darkness. As Carl Jung says, enlightenment's not just staying in the light. No, it's looking at the darkness and shining the spotlight of spiritual vision on the darkness. You see, when we shine the spotlight of spiritual vision on the darkness begins to dissolve. And if it tries to run and hide, we seek it out and we shine a little more light on it.
There's you who has no difficulty even when you're having difficulty.
Your mortal, finite body is a sigil or a symbol, a representation of your immortal, infinite soul. You are a God in heaven that's waiting to wake up from the simulation.
You know, we should view ourselves as an expression of God.
For he must here find his higher self in the truest sense of the word. He must rapidly decide in all things to listen to the inspiration of the Spirit.
The fate of our whole world depends upon people who dare to be themselves.
Perception is everything.
And the light shineth in the darkness, but the darkness comprehends it not. So you see, right there, we bring the darkness to the light for healing and for wholeness, and then the light dissolves the darkness.
All-pervading presence where everything is unified, everything is whole, undivided, no separation. This is what we're calling home, and it's not actually a place, it is this presence. The formless presence we call the moment is who and what you truly are. You are not contained to the mind nor its words. This is why we must look deeper within ourselves. We all have a central knowing within us that we are so much more than what we can see on the surface.
So before religion, we had spirituality. Spirituality is you just becoming self-aware of the infinite being and you call a spirit. How do we get back home? We got to go toward the center.
We're supposed to be able to look at things as a whole and get an absorbed meaning out of all of it. It's that word gnosis that we always throw around, right? Is to get the absorbed knowing of all of it. That comes with what I call the Bruce Lee process of adopting what is useful and discarding what is not, and then adding what is inherently your own.
Every aspect of the cosmos is literally within you.
When we go within our own hidden parts of ourselves, that is within our subconscious mind, and we bring God's awareness there to that darkness, then the darkness within us dissolves.
However, it is this moment which reveals to us our truest face. All we must do is be still and realize this. All change transpires through the moment, the presence.
It's about understanding what reality is, how reality works, and how it is that we play a role.
Sacred geometry is very powerful, because with sacred geometry, you see that things don't just shape this way for no reason, that it all has a spiritual origin.
You accept God in your life. That's because you are intelligent and you realize that there is only God. There is nothing but God. God is energy, frequency, and vibration. Thank you, Tesla. And in that order, energy. The universe is abundant with infinite energy. Energy is number one. Conscious energy. Conscious because they are all self-similar fractally through the mesocosm, from the microcosm to the macrocosm. It's all fractals. You go all the way up to the big solar system, you go all the way back down to an atom, and you'll find that it's all electromagnetic pulses, energy, frequency. Magnetism is the mother of electricity.
God is not up there, God is in here, and the devil is out there.
Magnetism is the longitudinal wave. It doesn't vibrate. That's why vibration is at the end. Energy, frequency, vibration. Vibration is a wave. The waveform is what makes time and space, because the pulse, there's no time and space in the pulse. There are no particles. See, when you see light hitting your eye, it's not a particle. They're frequencies, they're pulses. It's a pulse wave universe.
Everything that's happening is to show you, is to awaken you, to wake you up to what's going on.
When you were in soul form, before you even came into the worlds, the supreme path was placed within the heart of the soul.
You could expand that consciousness, more understanding. You look out, more awareness, and when you wake up, more wakefulness. It's consciousness. And there's an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousess inside each one of us.
Learning how to consolidate your energies that are scattered all throughout your body, bringing them to a pinpoint here in the single eye, as Jesus the Christ put it, of getting back to your true self, or getting back to the true God.
We're appreciating that behind good and evil, there is the one. And out of the one comes the dance.
For only within himself can he find the one central point of vantage where he can gain a firm hold.
Self-realization and God-realization are the only ways that we can ever experience God or experience our true home. And of course, we bring it down into the earth plane and flesh it out here and demonstrate it in our own Christhood and our own mastership.
We enter the Holy of Holies of our own illumined being. where the presence of God dwells within us. We're now born again through the union of these opposites, or as Christ says, as the two become one. When you make the two into one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, then you will enter the kingdom.
The higher realm, messengers, or the true God, is the cosmic anchor for your mind and your heart in that sense. And the heart, the personal anchor to the cosmic anchor for your mind. Because without that, there's no guidance. The compass needle goes wherever. The heart of Earth, the magnetic null point flux field, the cosmic unified center, the central attractor, okay, that's the one that keeps everything in order, to the point where when we're in that, we have to orient, all compass needles orient to true north based upon the magnetic null point, wherever that is. And so that's how our hearts must align.
We can become more powerful, more conscious, more self-aware, more free.
You've got to look inside of yourself for the kingdom, and the only way that you can look inside of yourself is meditation.
Everything on earth is receiving its energy from one source.
If you want to see reality, real reality, you've got to find the eyes of the heart.
And my biggest point for all of that stuff is just take the energy away. We know NASA's lying to us. We know space isn't what they say it is. We know the earth isn't what they say it is. Everything they give us is a lie. The first thing we all need to just realize, they're lying to us. So we need to see that, see the patterns, notice the dissonance, know where they're pushing us. They are pushing us towards a society that believes in space. I mean, it's all so fucking crazy that we need to take our power and our attention and our energy back from all of those dead ends.
Whatever the system has told you, challenge it. Whatever the system has taught you from the earliest of days, you need to invest time in investigating that from all different angles.
And guess what we got to realize? That right now, all is supposed to be happening because we're in a time of revelation.
The core of it has to be the awakened self. We have to begin to self-observe. We have to observe, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? That act in itself will actually begin to use the light of our consciousness to illuminate the thinking process, to illuminate our feeling process and our willing process.
The source of creativity.
Water is sea level, flat earth is balanced, and this is based upon the beautiful secrets of magnetism.
It is you which allows God to exist within you.
Duality is set up to be transcended. Truth must be known, and for truth to be known, you have to permeate and navigate through veils of ignorance and make it through into transcendence. And at that point, the darkness, the ignorance, the shadow mind is the soil that the soul grows through to reach the light of the visible. So at that point, you're not the dark or the light. There's something going from dark to light. You're both of it. You're beyond it. You're transcended. You're something else. But you contain the ability to be or see both. And that's why all parties are brought up into this show. This is the cosmic show. It's the cosmic drama.
That no amount of anxiety makes any difference to anything that's going to happen.
You're the soul. The soul's the only one that's going to go on.
And what the inner guide is your consciousness.
Christ in you. That's the great secret.
Study any magnetic energy field and you'll study perfection. Even though the object itself may not be perfect, the energy field around it is always perfect. This is how the finite is woven into the infinite, the perfect into the imperfect.
True awakening is transcending thought. True awakening is the recognition that thoughts and emotions are tools. True mastery comes out of stillness.
Let the mind return to the heart.
There's nothing to fear. When you awaken from the illusory dream of this reality and acquire the knowledge and wisdom of your true nature, you are the operating power in your own reality. The rules of the game automatically change by becoming aware.
True mastery comes out of observation, no thought. Because in that space, you will see clearly, because you are the light of this world.
We all began at the same place. We all started with God, the source.
Symbolism is the key to everything.
We're on our way. That's what we have to do.
We're here.
I don't need to believe. I know.
Who or what are you who is looking? Stay as the witness, the formless witness.
Your spiritual eye is your true self. It's pure awareness, and it looks through the two eyes. You are awareness, beloved, and so when you awaken that part of yourself and you discover your true self as you are, now the two extremes can be balanced and the spiritual eye opens. And keep in mind, the spiritual eye is you. The eye of the soul is the eye of you. It is you. Because your true identity is not the body and not the mind. It is the witnessing awareness of you, the witnessing observer that sees through the spiritual eye.
The clearer we become, a natural gratitude and appreciation arises.
The process of Geist, right? That you are part of the journey of spirit.
The eternal God will dwell therein.
The heart is sort of God source, so you can always go there. So you go there.
The eye of the heart.
Find me. I'm here. There is a principle inside of you waiting to be touched, waiting to be discovered. And through your meditation, it comes alive. No other way but through your meditation.
This genuine sense of purpose has its own organ of perception, its own way of seeing into the world, and the organ of perception that is related to the presence of purpose is the heart, or more specifically, the heart within our heart. The heart within the heart is the unique soul of each person. And inside, in the depths of the heart is the seat of imagination. And so in a sense, this heart within the heart knows the purpose, but also the direction that our life is intended to go in. And in that heart of the hearts, there is foresight as well as insight that transcend the common experience in the outer world. And so we're called to awaken to that. Eyes inside ourselves, the eyes of the heart, the opening of the eyes of the soul, which see the world the way we are intended to see it. Once the eyes of the heart are open, is the inner view of the soul, the world view that we came to see.
This world that you're inside of yourself, like a dream. And this dream is being projected from the inside to the outside. Power of being in and out at the same time. You know why? That is the mystery of the demiurge. Basically, you are the demiurge, sun and moon. But it's just representing the center of the self, where your two halves collide at.
See the story as it's being written,
right,
and see yourself as the story, observing the story, but also influencing the story through your character, what you want to bring to the story. And we know what we bring. We bring love, truth, and wisdom, what it is all about and what it wants it to be. And every moment you can find it, because it's looking for you. Look for it in the moment, any moment. The universe is there. Your oneness is there.
We are the preservers of this knowledge. It's been in our DNA. We don't learn this stuff. We awaken to it. No one teaches it to us. They remind us of it. Because it ain't a process of learning. It's an awakening, which is why the knowledge resonates.
We're talking about the soul. Now listen to this. That inner being of you, that uniqueness that you are, is endowed with a dignity of a cosmic principle. You are endowed with a dignity of a cosmic principle because that holy place within you has been placed there by a supreme creative consciousness. The carrier then, and that's you, of this consciousness, you and me, does not produce the psyche on his own, but is preformed by it and nourished by its gradual awakening during life.
To discover that awareness is without limits and ever present.
Because deep down we know we're something so much more here.
Now the name of God is I Am. You are the observer, not the body. The body is the one that's receiving the signal from the mind. So that's what I'm telling you. If you're in a video game, your fucking player in the simulation is receiving its actions from a controller that you holding. And your body is the player in the game. And the one that's controlling the body ain't inside the game. That's God in heaven. The real true source of all these reflections is the real light. Everything else is just what they call an outcast. Has been casted out, which is what we are, fallen angels, fallen angles of light.
Know yourself. That's the simple fact of being aware.
The geocentric model is actually the correct esoteric model.
What was really real,
behind the veil of the material world was all made of love. The light was love, and it connected us all.
You are already the state of being, you see. It is already here. So now, just remain empty for the moment like that. Simply observe.
Mighty in arms, he who keeps his senses detached from their objects, take it that his reason is purified. It doesn't mean you don't do things. It means things don't control you. You're not obsessed to have. You keep things in a proper perspective. Reason is purified. That's the Holy Spirit. There is no thought. That's perfection. See, you're supposed to be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Say, I can't be perfect. Yes, you can. Once you reach a point where there is not one of your thoughts, you have perfection. Where there is not one thought, you are in the midst of perfection. In virgin consciousness, the Christ is born. That's why the Christ is born of a virgin, because it's virgin consciousness. Deep within the recesses of your mind, when all thought has been subdued, there you are in absolute nirvana, you are in absolute heaven. You become God, God becomes you. There is no thought of you, there is only God, which is God. And if there is no thought, there can be no fear. And if there is no thought, there can be no guilt. And if there is no thought, there can be no anger. Where there is no thought, there can be no devil, because you are in absolute bliss. You are in perfection.
One love.